Hey everybody.
Good morning.
What's up, y'all?
All of you amazing people.
Yes.
The world is a better place because you are in it.
Come on.
We want to continue to inspire you to be all that you can be, to own who you are, to celebrate the people around you, and to continue to impact the world in a positive way, unleash your potential.
Coffee and Convo, y'all.
Yeah.
Cheers. I have a new mug. I love new mugs. Cheers, baby. For my 40th birthday, my youngest boy gave it to me.
Cheers.
It's a good mug hugger. Mugger.
I'm out.
He's out. He's like,
already.
You're weird. As you can see, our background, my wonderful card.
Cut. Take two.
What? I drank an espresso from the Nespresso machine, in an actual espresso cup for the first time. I did not drink an espresso for the first time, but in a cup, because he has these little cups, especially for one pot of espresso. And so I was like, let me try that, Why am I telling it?
I don't know why.
Oh, okay. I got it. And I'm drinking it. I'm like, oh man, this is really good, I said, but I can't quite hug my mug. So I was hugging this little tiny thing. And he's like, oh my word.
As you've seen from our show, sometimes I drink my espresso and she's like trying to hug.
You have that. So any other huggers out there that like to hug their mugs, sit with a blanket, it's almost fall.
I'm going to apologize to you guys already. Okay. So we will get into the topic, but
yes, we will always do.
But this is your birthday week. This is Esther's birthday
40
week.
Guys.
Her birthday was a couple of days ago. She's still doing some things.
It's a birthday week.
Today, even.
Today, I'm gonna get to do one of my dreams, bucket list type thing. I'm going to see the Broadway show, The Lion King.
Okay, not too many.
Not on Broadway, but The Lion King. I'm getting to see it.
It's playing in San Diego, or they're putting it on tonight in San Diego. You were going to that.
My girl Rebecca, we're gonna have some fun.
But what happens with her personality when she gets excited about something, like the wheels start coming on? It will be all kinds of talking, craziness, fun, right?
Hey Mary, everybody, of course, say hi. Let us know where you're watching from. Yeah. If in our conversation you have questions, let us know. We will interact with you, maybe during, but most time later.
So just on a side note, though, then on Sunday we're going to have a little party for you. I only stick this in because personality-wise, there was so much going on, so many decisions I had to make, which that is not my space. For my style is I don't like making a bunch of decisions for other people. So I had all this and all these different possibilities going on with just kids events, starting soccer, X, Y, Z, figuring out, making decisions on, these possibilities and these possibilities. Now, for some of us, that is not energizing. That's actually de-energizing, right? It removes our energy. And so...
Well, and to be fair to you, I was out of town last week, 3 days. Yeah. And there was a lot of school things going on right over that time. Back to school night, like information nights for the parents and stuff. And normally I do most of that. And
I'm okay for the information. I'm okay for executing and handling the thing. But it was like all these different potential and some fun things because we had Labor Day weekend. So Esther's like, hey, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? And, blah, blah.
And we had guests. We had guests at our house that we were hosting. It was just a lot of different things all at the same time.
The strength of the ideation.
Ideation. Yes, it's all right.
The strength of the ideation.
Yeah.
Which is some of you guys, which is excellent. But then some of us, a large percentage of us, don't do very well with a bunch of different possibilities, and we need to operate within that zone of all these different ideas. And so I just say that because it's okay if you're one of those people who have the ideas, or you're one of those people that don't function as well with all those ideas. So of course I'm looking what one or two can I hone into and make excellent and make it happen. Yeah. And if that's you, that's also good. So I just wanted to highlight that even in the middle of our lives. So all that to say is then I was like, oh, I didn't come up with
my 40th was here. And
any idea for an actual little party here in the area?
Don't worry, babe. I'm taking care of it. Don't worry.
So Sunday we're going to have just a little thing, but I kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit. But anyway,
no worries. I told them I don't have big expectations.
We were celebrating you most of the week, the
most
last
of the
days.
week. Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
So, what did we put?
Yes.
What's wrong with me?
Weaknesses.
Right? What's wrong with me?
What is wrong with me?
And how do I fix my weaknesses?
Let me answer that question right off the bat. There ain't nothing wrong with you. In my opinion, there is nothing wrong with you. Now, there might be some things you believe about yourself that are initially not right, and they're wrong because they're based on lies or whatever, But you, as a person, created in his image and his likeness, there is nothing wrong with you.
Okay, all right. That's a good statement, and I like that. I mean,
but he doesn't because he's now gonna poke a hole.
The question that first of all that statement, "What is wrong with me," comes out of actual what people have said to us. Or written to us, or what we've read, or worked with people,
reviews and stuff.
No, but and what we.
But you said that people said to us, not about us.
No, questions they've asked of themselves, like, "What is wrong with me?"
Yeah.
Or I realized there's nothing wrong with me, and so a lot of us are living with this feeling there's something wrong with me in who I am. In my personality style, my approach to things. So even now, like my natural example of this birthday week or all these decisions, and it could be like, well, what's wrong with me? Why can't I handle all these possibilities? Why does that wear me out? Why do I slow my decision making down? What's wrong with that? So that's one. That's where that came from. But I like your statement, as in we are made in His image and likeness, and so there's that greatness inside of us. But then the question you could have, because I'm the refiner, is but is personality is a secular framework people put on, or is personality actually part of your identity or kingdom?
And you want me to answer that? I believe so.
I just want to pose the question because I know that's something that can be in people's hearts. Now we have an opinion on that. But so your good broad blanket statement of you're made in His image and likeness, and so there's nothing wrong with you. But then someone say, well, you're talking personality. Where does that fit in? So
well. You're the personality expert. Where does that fit in? I believe in that. You're a triune being. You're not just your physical body. You're not just your thinking or your mind. You're not just So you're a whole being, and that's how you were made. So
So let me give my technical thought here.
There's nothing by accident. That's my opinion. There's nothing by accident. Not where you were born, in which family you were born, in which culture you were born. And of course, your upbringing shapes there is statistically, by a certain age. Sure. And your personality and
I thought
things.
You told me to talk. Though.
I know, sorry, but I decided I am gonna just give my opinion to everybody.
Right on.
But because I figured you already talked a little bit, so you need a little break.
Okay.
So let me get No, but right? There is no accident in that. Now, there can be, things that are not great maybe in your upbringing, maybe certain belief systems or certain ways or thoughts that you were taught that are not the truth, But who you are, it is a wholeness, right? You're a whole being. So why wouldn't personality be part of that?
Okay. Sure. So then I'm going to...
Why wouldn't it work for you either? Go ahead.
Yeah. Keep us on track. Yeah, so first of all, of course, however, personality just became, or the thing of personality became a measurement of something that was already there. Right. So my approach, and what I always encourage, we encourage people we work with, is it's not a box that you're trying to fit yourself in. So I think, first of all, the mistake is people say, well...
What do you mean? I know you say that a lot, and I agree, but what do you actually mean with that?
Yeah, because people say, well, I'm a refiner, I'm a C, and they act, on paper, it says a C personality is analytical, they want perfection, blah, blah, blah. And so then I try to be that because I am a C and I'm a refiner. Therefore, I try to have all those characteristics.
Yeah. So I have a quick thought.
But for me, I always say it's a platform from which you build. So it's not, I'm saying that, I'm reading the list of what I'm putting myself in this definition of I'm a refiner, a C personality. I read the list of what I am, and then I put on those attributes. No, those are things I already operate in. Yeah. I'm either energized by those certain operations or things I do, or I'm de-energized, and it's just clarifying who I already am and how I operate. And therefore, it's giving me a platform from which I can build and be great because I understand myself. Not that I put myself in.
Could it be a broken view about it that people feel like it's a box they have to fit in? Because, and maybe this is my personality, I don't know. You tell me, you're the expert. But for me, because I initially now I believe there is nothing broken, right? It's a wholeness of who I am in my identity. So when I look at personality and I read it, it gives a freedom to me. I don't know if it's to the next person, I'm talking out of my experience. It gives a freedom to me, not, I've never seen it as a box. It's like, whoa, that's who I am, and it's all good. Like, there's nothing bad about it.
Sure.
So therefore, I don't ever see it as a box. I actually see it as something like something to celebrate, something to really just understand yourself more and know like you are known, like.
Sure. So there are some styles of personality, though, that when you begin to define them, or you take away what they feel is taking away their choice by defining them, that feels like you're boxing them in. So it's like you're giving me this expectation that I need to fit into. Yeah. I break boxes. I'm a pioneer. I go where everyone said, this is a boundary. I'm always looking past the boundary because you're built to create and pioneer and do things. So some personalities feel that as soon as you begin to give definition, it becomes a box. The flip side, other people have been burnt by lack of character and saying, this is my personality style, therefore I have license to go, take off any restraint, any boundaries, and I don't value the people around me, I just plow through them. Or I just bring all of me, And that our point is
like, this is who I am.
This is who I am, and I'm just going to I'm going to treat you like crap, and but this is who I am.
Yeah, I hear
so you. Our approach, of course, is value for yourself and value for other people.
Yes.
And that kingdom combination, because kingdom is ultimately humanity. The person is of the utmost value.
And again, that's really good that you said value for yourself and value for others. We're always big on the value for others, but it starts with the value for yourself. If there's anything lacking in that you believe something that might not be, whole or good, then how are you going to find that in another person?
Sure.
Especially if they're like you.
I mean, it's harder. It's harder to definitely celebrate and champion somebody else when you're not secure and confident and whole in understanding the wholeness of yourself, because there's always going to be a grind or a feeling like you have to shift or shape because you're different, or something like that. Yeah. So first of all, that whole box thing is you're not looking through the characteristics and saying, okay, let me be that. Yeah. No, I'm saying this is how you've operated already, and now suddenly you're identifying, oh, this is really what comes naturally. These are my strengths. This is what energizes me. Yeah. And this is what drains my energy, and I don't function well. And so that's the platform you can build from, because you can begin to manage yourself and say, hey, if I put myself in this situation, like I become fully alive and I begin to produce what I was meant to produce. And when I try to fit myself in over here, it wears me out. And actually, you know what? Let me move, and let me not try to take on all these different identities. Yeah. So that's the platform versus the box approach. Then
then the weakness.
But then you got into your how your upbringing, how is a personality shaped? So the personality thing is just a reflection of what people have found we operate as, right? And they gave a definition. Yeah. So it's not, they gave a definition, you're trying to fit into it. No, this is the way we've operated. There's something in our makeup and design that, Father, we are made in His image and likeness, and we are operating these certain ways, and therefore they began to give definition. So that's my approach. Then with the upbringing and stuff, yes, we didn't decide when we were born, what family we were born into. And so no matter how it's shaped and formed, like Father God played a hand in that, putting us in the family. Yes. Now, He didn't choose the negative situations and things, right? But do we believe that in all that He's going to work it for your good and allow you to come out and be able to be everything you were made to be? So that's the second approach. When people say, well, it has to do with family and stuff, I'm like, yeah, but I didn't choose my family. I didn't choose what country I was born into. I didn't choose where I was in the birth order. God decided, hey, boom. And so there's that piece.
And how it's all connected, right? That's always my thing. I can get really like, I don't know. I just like things when you find the dots and they connect. And so all of this, it's not separate from each other. It's connected, and it all plays a role in your life.
And that's with what a comment you had made earlier, and I forget what it was now, but we as humans try to go we want to go one or the other in our thinking, first of all. And it was about a combination of everything. I forget what you had said, but we always try to look, well, it's one thing or it's the other thing. It's like, well, what about an and in here, maybe?
For sure.
So
when we talk about personalities, you don't ever want to say weakness, and it's like a constraint. And with other personality tests and different things that are out there, a lot of times you will hear about your healthy self and your not healthy self, which I don't like at all. But because it puts like a foundation of something is not good inside of you. and a framework that there's something lacking or something broken, which I don't like, my opinion. But we, in personality, there are things that we're definitely not, and things that we are.
Sure.
There are things in you, your wiring,
right,
that I am not.
So, but
and vice versa.
Those are two different things, though.
Yes.
So the healthy self or whatever, because you have different experiences, you take on certain understandings or certain thought patterns that aren't actually you. We agree on that, right?
Yeah.
So even though we are made in God's image and likeness, we've, as humanity, have forgotten who He is. We've forgotten who we are. You know, we sometimes operate as orphans. We don't realize we are sons. We're trying to perform all these different things, perform for His acceptance, for other people's acceptance. So,
but what I'm saying is that those are things that outside things that you believe about yourself. It's not something in your wiring that is part of you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you may identify with that, but that is not your identity. And so, in the way you are created. So that's what I'm anyway,
so, but
that might be for another show.
So I get maybe the language has to be tweaked for what you are championing and going after in who people are, and there's not a broken piece. But what they're getting at is, so even the way I work with things, there's a point where we talk about the greatest fears, and we don't like to talk about fears.
That's true.
But it's when certain areas are touched, we can begin to react.
Yeah.
Which is a negative response.
Yeah.
Or not a positive response, because when you react, there normally isn't a good result for you or the people around you. Yeah, but if I can understand why is this feeling or frustration or thing coming up, how do I manage myself in that to get the best results? So where people talk about being behind the healthy self, I would say, okay, if I operate out of my personality in fear, which is not the best Father has for me, I produce inferior results around me for myself and other people. And I don't bring the real kingdom upgrades. Yeah. So I want to operate in not to be super spiritual, but for lack of a better word, faith. Yeah. I want to operate out of believing this is who I am, this is what I bring, this is what's possible, in the kingdom and for the earth, and let me produce that and bring that. Every time I operate out of fear and I react, well, then I get something that's not complete in my action, in my thing. Yeah. So, for instance, if I talk about my personality style, one of the greatest fears is criticism. Yeah. And not being accurate. Yeah. So if I operate out of fear, I'm going to keep redoing something, and it's never going to be good enough. So I bring excellence everywhere I go, but my excellence will not show up if I never release it because it's not good enough. So in fear, I'm reacting, well, don't do it. I keep shutting it down, holding it back, because if I'm operating in fear. If I'm operating in belief or faith, knowing that I'm bringing excellence, I can release things that are going to impact the world, upgrade the people in the world around me, and therefore. And so I think that's kind of the combination or the thing about unhealthy or fear versus, so not reacting, but being fully engaged in who you're made to be, owning your style, your strengths, and producing out of that, generating out of that. So
and then also in the way of where I used to think or have the understanding that if you work hard on the things that you are not, or that don't come natural, or that you have like difficulty with,
so that's a different side.
The weakness or the constraint, that if you put more energy toward that to make that better or lift that up higher, then you become this more better person, right?
Just more grounded or complete person. Yeah.
And now I'm understanding it not as a bad thing necessarily about myself. Now I have to understand it so that I recognize it before I react out of fear.
No, that's the difference.
What? Okay, jump in.
You're mixing the two things again.
Oh, okay, what?
Because being my best self and living out of belief and faith and not operating out of fear means that you are generating, you're making great decisions, you're being proactive in what you're doing. Your weakness is the styles that do not come naturally to you, which is something completely different.
Yeah.
It's different than operating out of fear. These are two different categories.
Sure.
So your weakness, and I don't like that because A, it's saying something broken. B, there's been a push. Everybody focuses on it, puts a lot of energy into the weakness, which actually drains your energy because you're not made to generate and produce things in that way. 100%. And so you're spending all your energy. You're not actually growing and developing in that area. Like I'm never going to grow and develop in communication. I can add little skill sets, but talking is never going to energize me. And I focus so much of my time saying, I need to be a speaker. I need to be a speaker. And every day waking up, like thinking I have to go and speak and being like, man, I hate this. Or be optimistic and bubbly, talkative, energetic in my communication. I'm like, I'm energized by thinking and strategizing and laying pieces in place. Let me generate in that. You are going to have amazing results. Right. Everybody's going to experience the greatness of Father God in and through me and the result of the kingdom. Yes. If I'm focusing on the other side, that's a weakness, and that everyone said, focus on your weakness and become better. And I'm pouring my energy and focus into this communicative, encouraging, optimistic space. A, it's barely going to happen. I'm going to be drained of energy. I'm going to hate it. I'm not going to produce anything good in that area. Yeah. To be honest, because when I try to bring that side up, because my natural side comes so naturally and I see things like systematically, and then I try to be a storyteller that's like, and it doesn't flow. No, it doesn't fit.
And so in that, I'm saying we're never meant to walk alone, to be alone. Right?
We believe the kingdom is we're created to connect for purpose.
Yes.
And we're not made to be independent.
And so with that, I'm like, man, you learn that those things don't come natural. Find somebody, whether it's in your business or whether it's in your
life,
parenting, family, that you need to learn from, or have them join you, whatever, and find that in relationship, in marriage. Oh my word!
Not learn from.
No,
because I cannot.
No.
I can learn things from you, but
have them be that.
I need you to be that. Right.
Have them be that in your life. Have them be that in your friendships, in your relationships. Have them be that in your business, because it's a motivator for them. And it's going to make them thrive where it's not for you. Now, if you don't know that, or sometimes you don't always have that luxury that you have. Like I love that we are opposites, right? Sure. I love that about us because I have the understanding of this very point that, I'm just not even going to try. I used to. And oh my word, I was bored like mega, if I had to do a bunch of research and all that stuff. Right. And I noticed that when I am feeling insecure, when I'm not super confident in a certain subject or whatever, in my insecurity, I am going to try to be more like that.
Well, so that's where it goes back to the fear. Yeah. Part of one of the strongest fears of your style is being rejected. Because you are a communicator, you advance ideas and you motivate people to take action. Yeah. If you feel like they're not going to be motivated and receive your communication, which is part of what you're born for, that's the fear of rejection. And so then you'll be like, well, I need to gain more facts and information to
research,
convince
study,
them.
Like.
And so that's the difference of reacting. Okay, then let me not communicate until I get all the facts straight. But actually digging into the facts does not energize you.
Yeah.
You do not do well in that arena.
Right.
Actually, trying to remember and gather information, you do better just flowing and communicating and drawing people in, and they experience what you're talking about and are motivated to go and do. And so again, that's the operation. And you talked about, that whole we are connected for purpose. We believe that in the kingdom.
Yeah.
Like we need each other. There's not independence.
You're better together.
We were made together, but then we want to move from that and in the same breath say, yeah, but we need to try to be all these different personality styles to be a more rounded person. And I'm saying, no, we believe a very foundational principle of the kingdom is we're not isolated, but we all bring a different piece to the table. And that's part of the beauty in the kingdom. And therefore, why would your personality styles not need each other to make more of a complete picture and to do great things in the world? And so, in your marriage, just recognize your differences and pull on the strength. So for me to try to figure out a fun, spontaneous event, let's go somewhere and do something fun. That doesn't, because then I want to plan it and make sure it's perfect. And I refine it and make sure we're not going to have something go wrong. So I have to lean into the strength and say, okay, let me go with some of the spontaneity or spontaneity, however you like to pronounce that, of Esther, some of her ideas, and let's go with it. The flip side I don't work well with is if we're looking a month or 2 or 6 in advance and she's like, well, we should do this in this month and this in that month and that, throw it all out. And then I need a plan.
I never had one idea, right? I never had
one
idea.
So it's the combination, right? And it's pulling on the strength of the people around you, of your family members. It's celebrating that. It's letting them bring to the table, bring into your life, into your relationships, what they have to give. You bring what you have to give. That combination, as we continue to pull on those strengths and allow, I don't make you become me and you don't make me become you, but we utilize your ideas. We utilize my analytical planning, all that stuff. Together we can do great things. And just bringing that combination into whatever relationship it is, I think so.
Yeah. That's good.
So remove that thought of weakness. If it doesn't come easily, if
you feel drained,
you'll find an energy drain.
Spark, and that you're just doing it out of routine or most. Like, see, of course, there's gonna be things like I'm not a routine person, but I find in my life, in a family of 6. Being a mom and having a healthy life, that routine makes this machine work really well. Planning, then it works just really well because there's weeks where I'm lower on that and not spend so much time, and then I find like I'm just scatterbrained and then I get overwhelmed, right? So I find that these things work for me. But if I have to do that 80% of my time and I only get to do 20% of the things that really matter to me and that like bring me life, so that's what I'm saying.
So,
right?
and I was going to put that in there. It doesn't mean you never step over into these other areas.
Oh, my word.
So of course I'm on here communicating because I want to impact you and empower you.
And he's really good at it, but the point is, it does not bring him, it doesn't energize him. So
yesterday,
vice versa to me.
Yesterday I did a recording for a training. It was half an hour long, and we hosted a live meeting on Zoom that was just over an hour long. Yeah. So I did that, I was like, my day's complete, my day's done. I don't feel like I accomplished enough because I like to do things, but energy-wise, I was like, I don't have any more. Yeah. I was in 2 meetings. I'm shocked.
But if you have a healthy balance of where you can train and stuff and find the things to make someone someone's business or whatever they are doing, venture better.
Right.
And
so then I have to manage
results,
it.
So
manage and marry the combination together, so I can continue to generate out of the best of me, produce the best of me.
So that is what we are not saying, that you're living some flaky life where you're like floating.
Yeah.
I mean, duh. Of course not. But the point is that you recognize this is who you are, this is how you are wired for a very purpose and a reason, also to empower yourself. And so, what can that be? That celebrate that about yourself, celebrate that about your other half or the people in your life.
Yes.
Because it's awesome.
Live in faith, in belief, rather than reacting out of fear. So the more you begin to recognize that, you can understand, whoa, why did I have this reaction? Okay, let me consciously, so I'm aware of that because we did our personality assessments. We understand, hey, this is why in the past I've reacted or did some of these things. That's your alarm.
Oh, wow. Hold on.
That's why I did some of these things. Oh, it's because there's this part of my personality that's known as a fear or unhealthy self, or we could use some better terminology on some of that stuff, but this is why I reacted. So therefore, let me this time make sure I make decisions in a positive way when I start feeling this thing coming up. So I'm not reacting. It doesn't mean I don't move away from those things that drain me. And then secondly, hey, it's not weakness. It's going to be a constraint or limitation if I focus too much time on that. And so therefore, let me focus a majority of my time and energy on generating and being who I am and doing that. So again,
with that, we are landing the plane because that's why normally we are finished. So I have my alarm go off. We started
a little bit late, but you guys are amazing too.
Anyway, but if some of this you're like, man, this is the first time I'm hearing that. I don't know what that is about myself, things in my personality or in my wiring, the way I am. We can help you with that. We have information about it. We have personality tests, coaching. You can go to Jason T. Weaver, JasonTweaver.com. You can find us on Facebook, Jason and Esther Weaver. And we would love to help you. Or maybe you do know some of it, but more only in a business side and not a personal side. Let us help you. You can go and find us and follow us, or find our website and see what we offer. Because it's what we're passionate about. You are awesome.
So there's nothing wrong with you. You probably just don't fully understand yourself, and that's why you feel like there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So.
And fully understand others.
Yeah.
When you fully understand yourself, you can be all of that to other people too. All right.
Cheers.
Happy Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.